I'm Joseph Lamanero, and I'll be talking about change control, which is one of the service management practices. Change control is its purpose is to maximize the number of successful service and product changes. It does this by ensuring that risks are properly assessed, uh, to authorize changes to proceed, and managing the change schedule. The scope of change control is defined by each organization, typically includes all IT infrastructure, applications, documentations, process, and anything that may impact a product or service. There are three types of change controls. The first type is standard changes. Standard changes are low risk, pre authorized changes that are well understood and documented. Uh, they can be implemented without needing additional authorization. Usually, they are service requests, but may also be operational changes. The next type is normal changes. These changes need to be scheduled, assessed, and authorized before implementing. Some normal changes are low risk and can be handled by someone who can make rapid decisions, but there are other normal changes that can be major, and the authority to implement them could require someone as high as the management board or equivalent. The last type of changes is emergency changes. These are changes that must be implemented as soon as possible to either resolve an incident or to implement a security patch. These typically uh, these changes are typically not included in the change schedule because they are emergency changes. They are given higher priority to ensure that they can be implemented quicker. And those are the three types of change controls. Thank you.
Change control, there are two types of changes. First is standard changes. Standard changes are low risk, pre-authorized changes that are well understood and fully documented and can be implemented without needing additional authorization. They are often initiated as service requested but may also be operational changes. The example for standard changes are life cycle replacement of hardware, software patching and updates, firewall changes, and new DNS
Normal
entries.
changes. Ito ay tumutukoy na kailangan ang schedule ay assessment ay merong pangunahing proseso. That's why because will changes the model based on what the type of changes. Nagkakaroon ng maliit na pagbabago at pagiging resulta nito ang mababang risk. And then, kakailanganin nating palitan ng lahat, even the authority if someone or make a rapid decision. Means the rapid decision is recommended, agree, perform, input, and decide. Normal changes ay masyadong major. If we need like this changes, the authority will change.
Additional for the normal changes, a normal change is non-emergency proposed change that needs to be reviewed by change management. A standard change is a pre-authorized change that is low risk, relatively common and follows a specified procedure or work instructions. For example, the company has a website, then your group decided that a homepage needs a change in design just to improve the quality of the page and to be easy to understand. This kind of decision is low risk and it will help the company too.
So my report is about emergency changes. What is emergency changes? These are changes that must be implemented as soon as possible. It is to resolve an incident or implement a security patch. Emergency changes are not typically included in a change schedule, and the process for assessment and authorization is expedited to ensure that they can be implemented quickly. So basically, emergency changes are the exact opposite of standard changes. Examples of this is implementing a security patch to a zero-day exploit, isolating the network from a large-scale distributed denial of service. Also, these changes typically represents a crisis or an opportunity that address without undue risk. An acceptable level of risk is therefore expected, and when specific procedures are followed as a risk mitigation strategy. Specific approvals and authorization is also required before implementing such emergency changes. You should also include remediation or backup process in the scenario when it comes to emergency changes. This is so you can restore the file or the original state of that file when change has been implemented on an activity introduced by additional risks and issues. Information must be quickly gathered and analyzed to decide upon the best course of action for remedying or relocating or about backup procedure when it comes to issue on your hand when it comes to issues on your hand. So emergency changes are tested quickly and implemented immediately when necessary.